Alrighty then, it's time for everyone's favorite anime, League of Legends. And its season 8 is almost over, although extremely controversial. Because it was basically one giant filler arc with just a whole lot of subplots that never really got solved at the end. So hopefully the next season, the next arc, is actually worthwhile. Anyways, ripping on League for, for a little while. It's another Kane game, and it's Shadow Anime Kane, mostly because it's one of those games where I just decided, whatever I transform into is the first thing I will become. But there's kind of an issue with becoming Anime Kane, and you'll see through the scoreboard. My opponent is Graves, and so he's pretty fast too, but I seemingly beat him to the scuttle, and then right now. Oopsie daisy, oh no, it's Graves. Boom boom, my smite steal, or my smite secure. Seems he kind of already cleared most of his jungle, so he just kind of delayed himself with Scuttle. I figured he would have gone there first. So as a result, I'm able to evade him for his little frog. And I don't know what the hell Malphite thought he was going to do with no mana and, pushing himself far away from me. But, he could have just tried, hitting me on the way and hopefully slowing me down enough for Graves to shoot me in the spine. But no, it's just kind of a bad idea. So yeah, I have a tiny fraction of an advantage against the Grave, though it's not a really big deal. And I kind of threw it away right here, just kind of camping, hoping for the Malphite to get hit by the Cho'Gath, but nothing comes of it. So it delayed me a little bit. Kind of even out the score with the Graves, although I do have more CS simply because it took a lot more mini camps, like the chickens. But yeah, so it's a pretty slow start, at least for the jungle. The lanes are kind of in a little bit of murder spree. My bottom lane has 2 kills, and my top lane has 1 traded kill with the Garen. Also, the Garen has a very wonky build. Kind of, I guess he thought it would help him absolutely destroy the Jax. And the Jax did complain about it because he wasn't able to do very much against him, but it doesn't seem like it's helping him actually win the fight. Now, knowing that I'm outpacing Graves, I try to invade his blue, put down a ward. My teammates are sort of pinging, and I have no idea where the Graves was, so I kind of backed off instead of clearing it fully. But since when he revealed himself or got revealed by a ward, I go in there, scare him off, and now I have a little bit of an interesting situation. Well, I get attacked by the Malphite. Gary came running through, and because of the weird, awkward positioning, they were not able to catch me. And thanks to the arrival of my Jax teammate, and technically Cho'Gath too, I was able to survive. Graves does get his blue, but if he had participated in that skirmish, he probably would have been able to finish me off. So, kind of a bad decision there with Graves. But yeah, slow start. Graves, as you can see by the CS, is pretty much caught up. In the early steal against him was kind of irrelevant. And again, just a slow start. It seems they have, according to the pings on the map, they have a lot of things warded. They're just kind of keeping pace with me, or keeping track on me. 0-0-0 Kane, that's pretty lame to be. In those situations, you normally want to go Rost, and it wouldn't be a bad choice given their weird front line of Malphite, sort of Graves, and Garen. But if I would destroy the Soraka or the Sivir really early, I would have probably been able to win. So it really didn't matter to me what I would have gotten, Rost or Shadow Kane. This fight here is an embarrassment because just look at all of the weird committing that's going on or issues. Like we're pinging at each other trying to figure out what to do. So I come in, re-engage with the Sion because he decided to go gung-ho. I missed my W, so that itself is embarrassing. But even if it didn't miss, it probably wouldn't have accomplished much. I use my ultimate as a last-ditch effort to put some distance between us, and I die. And then they just sort of stand there for the misfortune ultimate to destroy them, and she kills a Malphite. And then just sort of watches this next little scene play out. It's just like, would this not tilt the living hell out of you? So close for misfortune to kill all of them, but just no, Soraka. Sivir does die though to the Ignite, so some weird bronze lining there. It's so bad. It was a very awkward situation because there was obvious communication issues between everybody. I mean, no one's really typing in chat, but the pings are confusing everybody. Still though, I'm pretty behind. 0-1-1. 0-1-1 and just one completed tier 2 item, the jungle item. Once again, I'm just trying to cheese out a kill against the Garen or the Graves. In this case, Graves is, should have just backed away because Cho'Gath alone would have killed him. But him and I secure the kill. I almost actually do drop due to some kind of like weird decision making by the Cho'Gath, and then Malphite comes in and finishes me off. Throughout this whole game, Cho'Gath has been making some very questionable decisions. I wouldn't say he doesn't know how to use Cho'Gath because it seems he's at least accurate with his abilities for the most part. But there's some really awkward decision making. Anyways, I become Shadow Kane on a score of 0, 2, and 2 with only 82 CS. I say only, mostly because everybody else is sort of beating me on that. But it's normally not a situation you would go blue Kane in. You don't have any sort of advantage. You're just kind of weird. Ross is normally the Kane form you go if you're on an even plate against your enemy the enemy team or a little bit behind. So I'm taking a big gamble because at least I can do quite a bit of damage and I can make myself farm a lot and just zooming, do some zoomies around the map. That's my hope at the very least. Plus, again, I just took the first evolution I got because I felt like we needed to secure the mid game and then just sort of roll with it. Hopefully, because I think this was the first game I played coming back after my back injury. So I was a little bit, trying to make sure to maintain momentum and not sort of dawdle around. So yeah, right now everybody's sort of focusing down towards the mid lane to try to see what happens. And once again, it's just a very awkward situation because the Soraka puts herself in a really weird spot because they know we're here, gets CC'd, Malphite goes in, but there's obviously no follow-up, so I go in, destroy the Soraka. I use my ultimate to do some damage and avoid some other damage. And I retreat, though on the contrary, I probably should have stuck around and done something. And now there's this weird, position where we can't really dive too much. So Cho'Gath is in his lonesome, but he's tanky as hell, so he's going to survive. Malphite makes a run for it, but that's where I decide to re-engage, finish him off. Garen gets bitten in the face. He really can't do very much. And then eventually we kill him off too. A very awkward fight, but it worked out for us spectacularly, so hooray! But yeah, that's the kind of thing I needed to justify Shadow Kane and not feel like I was just kind of fall behind. Now, the only way this can go really bad is if I decide to, gank somebody without my ultimate, pop off on them and then hesitate on attacking them while I'm under tower shots. But, that rarely happens. So, anyways, right now my team is having a weird issue of just miscommunication once again, trying to decide what we do. So I'm off on my lonesome farming. My bottom laner Miss Fortune is just kind of doing her own thing, chasing down a Soraka, putting herself in a weird position. But luckily the enemy team doesn't understand that she can annihilate them if they give her the chance. So she kills 2 people, Malphite comes and kills her, and then I do all my anime stuff on the Malphite too. Ooh, ultimate to dodge that tower shot and kill him. So hooray! Yes, pretty good. Now the mid game is basically secured for us. The only way we'll lose is by the aforementioned weird decisions to gank people in the towers without your ultimate that would help you avoid a lot of that damage. But like I said, it doesn't always happen. Now, I see a Sivir down bottom lane, and my ultimate is not up, but I figured nothing bad will happen. Go in, she avoids my Q with her little thing. I hesitate to continue attacking her, and then I go in anyways while taking a lot of tower shots without an ultimate, and I die. Who would have thought that was going to happen? I totally didn't foreshadow that. So, yay. But like I said, it's just some weird, awkward positioning decisions like Miss Fortune here, just sort of getting caught and destroyed, allowing the enemy team to sort of return. Then this right here is just so odd, because Jax ran in without any mana, and even if it was just Garen by himself, it's like Garen was near full health. He wasn't going to die anytime soon to a mana-less Jax and a Cho'Gath who's just super slow. And he was close to a tower. So it was an extremely awkward decision by the Jax that got his teammate killed, and Jax sort of just escaped. Now here, I love this. I go in there, attacked him from the side. I only really hit the Sivir, so it's kind of bad. She's not dropping anytime soon because the Soraka's healing her. I almost died, but I used my ultimate on the wrong target, and I still get rewarded by getting a W onto the Sivir who wasn't paying attention, so she got dropped. And the Soraka got to survive, and I ran away. And then they sort of decide to, for some reason, fight a Miss Fortune despite being so low health, because she kind of just needs a couple shots to bring all of them down. So that's just kind of a free triple kill on her. But, bronze, I guess. This ain't bronze, this is gold. This might as well be bronze. So, yay. My Ana build is pretty typical, Duskblade, getting myself a Guardian Angel to allow myself to get away with more anime shenanigans. Now, it's just sort of the enemy team kind of lost this due to some absolutely atrocious coordination. My team has some bad ones too, but our champions are pretty damn snowbally, so there we go. Malphite gets dropped, I retreat. My Garen just goes in gung-ho, doesn't manage to kill the Jax because he gets CC, the Miss Fortune dies. I go all anime, killing the Sivir, then I kill the Graves too with a W before I get dropped by the towers. Retreat around a little bit to circle around, and then, poor little Soraka, just like a little goat, just, murdered. So, 15 to 27, it's looking pretty grim for the enemy team. So, it's been pretty grim for the enemy team, right? Now, I don't even know what I do with my last item because I bought a longsword for some reason, and I probably should have gone Ghostblade, but I decided to build Starrock's Gauge with the justification that, hey, it'll make me a little bit tankier, but we both know it's dumb. Anyways, I engaged on the Saber thinking I could finish her off, but there's a Soraka in the game, so she's not going to die anytime soon. So I kind of get Misfortune killed too. It's pretty bad, right? Cho'Gath goes in, nothing happens with that because my team is pretty damn easy to kite. Yeah, except me. I'm cool. I'm anime. I could be like, Nani on someone. Tower gets tanked and destroyed. I'm just gonna straight out say the enemy team's build especially for Garen, is extremely confusing. And honestly, just terrible. I mean, even if Frozen Heart would make some sense against, wouldn't be too bad on Garen. Against my team comp, it's pretty damn bad. So, yeah. Either way, the enemy team knows they have some really wonky initiation because even though Malphite can go in, the follow-up for it in this position is extremely poor. But they kind of try anyways, and they all get absolutely giga destroyed. It was just such a bad decision to make right there. Garen tries his very best to run away, but, he's get caught and killed. W slow, hit him with my Q, and he's gonna, CC locked and destroyed. And Misfortune fighting in melee range. But like I said, it's just some extremely confusing build by the Garen. And buys Righteous Glory right after. I mean, I like Righteous Glory and Garen sometimes, but that's just, it's pretty odd. To go with that kind of build. Essentially, he's worse than if he had just picked a basic tank and never actually learned and knew how to play it. Like, he could have played anybody but Garen and done better with that build, I think so. Because, I mean, you're not getting any real damage with Garen. You don't really have a lot of health. It's just extremely odd. It's like a super cooldown reduction aura build. Yeah. Anyways, as you know, the enemy team just kind of stands no chance. We annihilate them. We have Baron. Tower's just going to basically melt. And with that, the game is done. There was a lot of problems with the enemy team, and we kind of just exploited them. Anyways, remember to tune in next time for another episode of League of Legends. Well, whatever. You guys know the Dragon Ball Z theme. I don't. And if you liked this video, remember to give it a like. And if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the little bell up there somewhere so you actually get notifications to my videos because YouTube and stuff.